Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about a new initiative that we're running at HomeFlow called Labs, or Large Agency Benchmarking. It's a service that we opened up for our bigger agency groups, and by that I mean 10 branches plus. We do have a few of the more proactive 5+ branches in there. But the challenges that a large agency face are somewhat different from a smaller estate agency group, and we serve both sets of clients. A large agency group will typically have a marketing manager or an online marketing team at the really large scale. They'll also have a bigger staff base to pull with them on any journey or any processes that, that they adapt on their website. They have staff training issues. And consequently, the challenges are slightly different. And one of the areas that we find that the larger agencies are starting to worry about more and more is online performance and their analytics. Now, there are 5 sort of analytics systems that you can use to compare your performance. And there are pros and cons to each of them. If we run through each of those very quickly, there's Alexa, just alexa.com. You can look it up in a web browser tab near you. But it's free. That's its huge advantage. It's based on a sample from a toolbar. That's its big disadvantage. It's very inaccurate. However, you can compare yourself to any of your competitors and see whether you're larger or smaller. It'll only really work if you're a bigger agency group, and you're only really as a sort of a 10 to 50 branch agency. You're right on the edge of scale of where the Alexa stats become at all reliable. It can, however, be quite good just for a marketing stat. If it shows a good picture, you can use it in your PR and your brochures. One step up from that is a business called Hitwise. Hitwise is again sample-based. They buy log file data from ISP, so they look at the traffic, the raw traffic hitting the internet backbone. Its big advantage over Alexa is that it's more accurate, and it will therefore be accurate down to smaller agency groups' traffic. Its big disadvantage is it costs money. It's quite an expensive product, although a very good, thorough product, but you're unlikely to want to subscribe if you're just doing one-off exercises. Larger agency groups may well take advantage of that product. Next up from there, you have Nielsen and Comscore. Those are big panel-based, statistically robust systems. They're very expensive, but if you're and they only, again, ironically, they only work down to quite big websites. So a typical 10-branch agency would probably be too small to be registered accurately by those systems. But at the really high scale, for portals certainly, and for larger agency groups, they'll give great data, but they're very expensive. And the 5th is obviously the most interesting. It's the one that nearly everybody has installed on their website. If you don't have it, it's worth installing on your website. That's Google Analytics. It's a free product from Google. It's basically cleared the market out for analytics and is the de facto standard. But the big downside of Google Analytics is you can only see your own stats. So you know that you have a 43% bounce rate, or that 34% of your traffic is coming from Google SEO, or that your page speed loads are loading on average as 6 seconds, but you have no idea, is that good compared to Joe Blogs or bad compared to Joe Blogs? You might know that you've been getting better lately, but maybe the web's been getting better and faster, and it's not your performance. And that's where Labs comes in. And what Labs is all about doing is giving you a way to compare your performance to your peers, and to do so anonymously and safely, and then to do so with advice at the end of it. So essentially, Labs is a report which will contain a whole load of data on a whole load of different variables. That might be the absolute volume of visitors coming to your website, might be how long they spend on your website, it could be how often they repeat visit to your website. And these are all things we're looking at analysing. It might be the proportion of your traffic that's coming from email, or that's coming from SEO, or that's coming from your social media strategy. And it will give you your trace. So your red line is you, and the green lines will be the average of 5 to 10 branch agencies, 10 to 20 branch agencies, 20 to 50 branch agencies, and 50+ branch agencies. So at no point, you sign an NDA with us, and at no point is your data visible to any other agency. No other agency can see, you can't see any other agency's data, vice versa, obviously. You're not allowed to PR any of the findings from the report. It's a private internal benchmarking exercise. We're holding a seminar in November. You get the report back on all those metrics, and at that seminar we can help you analyse the data. It's completely free of charge. And you may ask yourselves why we're going to such effort to do an awful lot of analysis free of charge. Well, the answer is obvious. We need a relationship with you. We want to be speaking to you. As larger agency groups, we hope to be able to work with you either on consulting, or when you come to thinking about upgrading your website, we'd like you to think of us as a potential supplier. And so Labs for us is really a way of forming a relationship with big agency groups, hopefully providing you some useful insight into where you're weak and some insight into where you're strong, and then forming a relationship that we can work with you in the future. So if you're interested, please do get in touch with us. It's a rolling survey. We'll be doing this every 3 to 6 months. We're closing the first survey very soon, so please do get in touch. Thank you.